Allez-y pour la première boule. Deuxième équipe que nous allons mettre dans la poule B.
Kazakhstan.
L'Irlande dans la poule B. Quelle équipe du chapeau 2? Les États-Unis.
I suppose you're always going to meet one of the top 3 teams in the world, so it doesn't really matter. On your day, you have to be your best, and again, you have to beat the best to be the best.
Nouvelle-Zélande, tenant du titre, aux côtés des États-Unis, de l'Irlande et du Kazakhstan.
I remember thinking, wow, this is really exciting. Finally, Ireland are getting a chance to play against New Zealand.
I was delighted we got New Zealand. I knew it was going to be my last tournament. I'd never played them before. They were world champions, never beaten in a World Cup.
There was, the chat once the draw was out that we were in the pool of death and that it would be hard for us to get out of this pool, and that USA would be a really tough match. And from that, we knew that we needed to start off the campaign really, really well against the USA and get a win against them, and we had to front up physically against a big USA side that had beaten us well in the previous match beforehand.
Another game in Pool B, but perhaps a key game in Pool B. First appearance, of course, of these two teams, United States and Ireland. Emotional start for both teams to this tournament. Very vocal support for both sides up on the hills around this pitch too, making their voices heard already for their sides.
And we wanted to start off the campaign really well against USA with a win and focus on that game first. There's a couple of key moments. USA actually scored first.
They're up, they can smell the whitewash, they can't get the ball over it. Sang ordering her forwards into position. The great step comes from Coghlan and the try follows.
And then we went on with a good pick and drive from Neve Briggs scoring and our forwards getting over as well.
They sniff glory, have they got it?
And it's
I
Briggs.
think they have.
Yes, and we saw the power again there of the Eagles players. They're bigger and heavier, as you said, this pack. Takes 2 or 3 defenders to take them down.
And they've gone over, and I think that's Carmen Farmer, the second row, indeed it is. And she delivers.
Brilliant from Briggs. Pressure kick that one was.
And these Irish forwards have really put so much into this victory. The ball is there for Stapleton. She kicks it out towards Paris. And the referee's whistle confirms that Ireland have won their first game of the Women's Rugby World Cup.
A tournament like this, it's all about the win, and we'll gotta take it for the rest of this evening and start preparing for New Zealand tomorrow.
Well, the Kazakhstanis know what the challenge is. There is no bigger challenge, perhaps, in women's rugby right now. Brazier throws it wide, huge gap for Manuel. Mariana Manuel steps outside the fullback, and it's simple stuff for the Black Ferns 13. Brazier steps inside and screeches over underneath the posts. Happy with that scoreline. Looking to build on the games coming up next up against Ireland on Tuesday.
The morning of the match, we were waking up and everything. We were just in good form. I remember it was really, really warm, and just thinking I just wanted to get out onto the pitch and play. And then Fee was really good in the change rooms. She's such a good leader, and she just said, look, if we do our jobs and do them well, we'll get through this and put in a big performance. More so for me, it was more emotion because it was playing my home nation, 50th cap, playing against a really good friend of mine was marking me from my hometown, Emma Jensen. My cousin was playing for the Black Ferns, and we would face the haka.
All the talking had been done at that stage, so immediately after the haka we went into a huddle, and
I can't actually repeat what was said. Basically it was along the lines that let's go out there and go mental.
Let's go effing mental, and that's all that needed to be said. I just said that, and there was giggles from the squad, and I knew that we were in a good place and everyone was ready to go. The Irish crowd were unbelievable, like hair on the back of your neck moments.
So the stage is set. And Ireland, it'll be then who'll get to kick off with the sun on their backs.
The first half, I think we were unlucky. In the first 20 minutes we were dominant. New Zealand bounced back. It was ebbing and flowing, we went back down.
There was a couple of key moments. There was a moment where ball fumbles out of the ruck. I fumbled it on and I thought Spence was a lot closer to me, and I didn't even manage to get off the ground to her. It bobbled along the ground, and you know the Black Ferns are lethal on unstructured play. They pick it up, they feed it out, and Winiata scores down in the left hand corner in the first half, and it was just like, okay, you know, what are we going to do here? That game, I just remember the amount of work that the forwards put into it.
It was ebbing and flowing, we went back down, scored an unglamorous pick and go try. At half time, we were very conscious about jogging off the pitch, running off the pitch to show that we were fitness. There was no weaknesses.
And Ireland sprinting towards the touchline here. They're right in this match against the 4-time world champions.
Half time, we were very much in the game, don't change much, stick to the game plan.
It was just one of those games at halftime I just felt confident. We had to keep moving the ball around the pitch. We had to make sure our connects were right, and then there's a moment in the game when the Black Ferns make a break and they break down to the right hand side of the corner, and Sleeper Winiata comes across. I managed to get under her and we managed to hold her up, and it was just at that point I think something changed in us, and we really thought this is the moment that we could really push on and do something special here.
I think it was close enough to the 60-minute mark when we kicked to New Zealand. They moved the ball over towards the stand. I think it was Wycliffe who kicked back to Briggsy.
Straight to Briggsy, and I remember her looking down at her and just going, oh, thank God it's gone straight to her, because what she can do in counter-attack is phenomenal. And you know, she beats 1, 2, 3 defenders, and then she puts Ali Miller into space. Has Emma Jensen or Emma trying to chase her, and no one's going to chase tactically Miller to a line, and thinking, thank God that was Ali and not me out there with her speed.
I think I was still stuck around the 10-metre line trying to keep up with them when Ali scored the try.
And that is the try that takes the Emerald Green into the lead over the Black Ferns.
But you can't get caught up in that try, particularly the way New Zealand were playing at that time. They were getting more of the line breaks that were to get stuck back into the game.
And then Kelly Brazier gets a penalty and she kicks it, and then we equal up.
But we knew at that point we had the fitness on them that we could keep plugging away, that we'd get back up there.
And you know, there was no panic. We still believed it in ourselves. We had this belief that it was going to come through, and then we get the penalty and Briggsy slots it.
And then for the last 10 minutes, I think we were very much in the New Zealand half, in between the 10 and 22. Then we moved closer. Laura Guest at one stage picked and went, and I think she thought she scored a try on the 5-metre line, but we had to keep picking and going.
Constantly asking the referee, is it time, this time, and then she finally said it's time, and finding Briggsy and putting it out over the line and finishing it.
And there it is! Ireland have achieved the unthinkable. They've defeated 4 times world champions New Zealand and have secured a dramatic win here, their second in the tournament, and now they are definitely firm favourites to progress through to the semi-final.
Tell me, what's this like, beating New Zealand?
Look, it's huge. Like, it's a team we respect, we've watched, we've probably learned a lot from over the years. They're the top of the world. That's where we said we wanted to be. We're not there yet. This is only step 2 of the process, but we're on the right track.
Obviously, we weren't in a semi-final yet. We still had to go and beat Kazakhstan to ensure it.
You know, obviously we had the next games to play and so on, but you know, it was just such a proud moment for myself and for the whole squad in general.
Great way to finish it off, just dipping. Oh no, he didn't. It did have the legs to get over. Well, got to 40 points for Ireland. It's Vive les Verts. They are making history. They will be in the semi-finals of the Women's Rugby World Cup 2014.
The first ever Ireland senior team in a World Cup semi-final. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels phenomenal. We came here with a job to do. Obviously, I think we need to be able to use the full squad, so we're delighted with that result.
You know, I don't think it really sank home straight after the match. I was really thankful after the match, and also, you know, a huge honour being the first Irish senior team to beat the New Zealand team and making history. Who would have thought we were going to make history that year in 2014?
I was very cognizant after that game. One of the New Zealand girls said to me, "Don't let that be your final." Unfortunately it was. We went out in the semi-final and England were just outstanding and they were deserving World Cup winners that year. I don't think even at our best we would have come close to them, but it was still tough then to come away with nothing. Again, we went into a third, fourth place playoff against France. Again, another sensational game of rugby, and a couple of decisions, some by me, some with Benson the ball, that we didn't get that bronze medal at a World Cup, but an unbelievable experience. Obviously we'd been in the history books for beating New Zealand and getting to a semi-final.